I've always been a sucker for blind dates, or at least I used to be. The excitement of meeting someone new, the possibility of romance, it all seemed so enticing. Little did I know that one particular blind date would turn into a harrowing ordeal that would haunt my nightmares for years to come. It all started innocently enough when my friend Sarah set me up with a guy named Mark. She'd met him at a charity event and insisted he was the perfect match for me. I was reluctant, but Sarah was persuasive, and eventually I agreed to give it a shot. We decided to meet at a cozy little restaurant in the heart of the city. I arrived early, hoping to calm my nerves with a glass of wine before Mark showed up. The dimly lit atmosphere and soft jazz music played in the background, creating a romantic ambiance. As the minutes ticked by, I grew increasingly anxious. Where was Mark? Had he stood me up? My phone buzzed with a text message, and I eagerly checked it. It was from Mark, apologizing for running late due to a work emergency. He promised to be there soon. Relieved, I ordered a glass of wine and settled into my seat, watching the candle flicker on the table. The minutes turned into an hour, and still, there was no sign of Mark. I tried calling, but he didn't answer. My anxiety returned with a vengeance. Just as I was contemplating leaving, the restaurant door swung open, and Mark walked in, looking disheveled and out of breath. He apologized profusely, blaming the chaotic day at work for his tardiness. He seemed genuinely apologetic, and I decided to give him the benefit of the doubt. We started talking, and I found Mark to be charming, witty, and incredibly engaging. The initial awkwardness faded away, and we fell into an easy conversation. He was everything Sarah had described, and I began to feel a glimmer of hope that this might turn out to be a great night after all. We ordered dinner, sharing appetizers and laughter. Mark's stories were captivating, drawing me further into his world. As the evening progressed, I couldn't help but feel a strong connection forming between us. I was almost ready to believe that blind dates could work out. As we finished our meal, Mark suggested we take a stroll through a nearby park. It was a beautiful summer evening, and the idea appealed to me. We left the restaurant and headed toward the park, hand in hand. The moonlight filtered through the trees, casting eerie shadows on the winding paths. It was during our walk that things started to take a sinister turn. Mark became oddly quiet, and I could sense a change in his demeanor. His grip on my hand tightened, and a chill ran down my spine. I tried to make small talk, but he seemed distant, as if lost in thought. We reached a secluded area of the park, far from the city's hustle and bustle. It was then that Mark abruptly stopped and turned to face me. His eyes, once warm and inviting, now seemed vacant and filled with malice. "What's wrong, Mark?" I asked, my voice quivering. He didn't answer. Instead, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a knife. My heart pounded in my chest as I took a step back, stumbling over a tree root. Panic surged through me, and I screamed for help. Mark's lips curled into a sinister smile, revealing a darkness I hadn't seen before. He advanced toward me, the knife glinting in the moonlight. Desperation flooded my senses, and I turned and ran, branches scraping my skin as I fled deeper into the park. I could hear Mark's footsteps behind me, closing in. Fear and adrenaline pushed me to run faster, but he was relentless. I stumbled through the dense underbrush, my breath ragged, and my heart threatening to burst out of my chest. Just when I thought I couldn't run any longer, I stumbled upon a small, dilapidated cabin nestled in the woods. With no other options, I threw open the door and rushed inside. The cabin was old, musty, and filled with cobwebs. It was clear no one had been here for years. I barricaded the door with a piece of furniture and frantically searched for a way out. There was a window, but it was too high to reach, and I knew I wouldn't be able to climb out. As I huddled in a corner, gasping for breath, I heard Mark's voice outside, taunting me. "You can't hide forever," he sneered. Hours passed in that dark, eerie cabin, and I prayed for help to arrive. Finally, I heard the distant sound of sirens. The police had come to my rescue. They apprehended Mark and led me to safety. It turned out that Mark had a dark history of violence and had been involved in a string of crimes against women he'd met online. I was one of the lucky ones who had managed to escape his clutches. My blind date had gone horribly wrong, and I had narrowly escaped a nightmarish fate. It was a terrifying experience that left me scarred, but it also taught me a valuable lesson about the dangers of online dating. Blind dates may hold promise, but they can also lead to unimaginable horrors.
Thank you for joining us on another chilling journey through the darkest corners of human history. If you've enjoyed exploring these chilling case files with us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated on our latest tales of intrigue and terror. And remember, the truth is often stranger than fiction, and the world is full of mysteries waiting to be unraveled. So, until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and never stop seeking the truth. This is Chilling Case Files. Goodbye.